From Munich, I had to take a train, something very unusual for my travels. A cancelled overnight stay left me with 2 days cab until my next couchsurfing host that I had to fill somehow. Hostels in Munich turned out to be a lot more expensive than expected. I couldn't find another host and decided to just go in the direction of my next one and figured something out along the way. However, in the morning I woke up to a midnight message from Chris, my couchsurfing host for after 2 days, that something had changed and he could accommodate me 2 days earlier. But I had to be there at least by noon. I did almost jump when I read it, and I can't afford to risk hitchhiking in this case. It could take me 2 hours, could be 6, so the train is the decision. Well, an interesting custom for a newborn we have here. Fridolfing is a small picturesque parish, a municipal center right at the border with Austria. All the people greeted me with smiles, although it was obvious that I was not a local. Beautiful, neat and cozy, German-style needed and welcoming place. The Church of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary and the local cemetery evoking a sense of peace and tranquility. And farms that don't look like farms. I was sure I was looking at a hotel until I went to a back alley where I found some evidence of my host's word that it was actually a farm. The next day, Chris took me to the nearby swamp. I didn't know what to think when he suggested it. A walk to the swamp somehow doesn't sound very enthusiastic to me.
Yeah, that's where they made this kind of bricks.
However, I decided to trust my host, who is also an experienced traveler, who has toured India, lived in China, and so on and so on.
This is the big mountain we saw from the car.
And I didn't regret it for a second. Old peat mine, left to the care of nature and slightly supported by the municipality, turned into a park for recreation and sports. The swamp with blue-brown black waters and with the remains of rotting old trees sticking out, extremely beautiful. The grove surrounding it by all sides is literally covered with blueberries.
I got you.
In just no time we both were blue-tangled. Right in front of the pretty town hall you can see that tree put there by hand on 1st of May, every year in every village in Bavaria. One day, while my host was resting after a night shift, I took about an hour-long tour of the neighboring village of Pietling. Well, the words village and farm evoke completely different association in me. The Bavarian villages and farms have nothing in common with the Bulgarian ones, except maybe for the idea that animals and agriculture are raised there. Something I noticed though, that all the cows have been kept inside instead of grazing outside in this lovely weather. I wondered why, until I noticed that there was nowhere for them to graze around. Every inch of free land was sowed with something. There is simply no meadow. Not around. And not only here. So, guess where I'm taking you now? Yep, at the Alps.
What they look for?
Yeah, what were the kids looking for? Well, it turned out it was this. Minerals and fossils with which the river abounds.
You see those shapes, so crazy.
And here it is, the last working marble mill in Germany, dated since 1663. I had no idea it exists, and it's even functional. Yes, of course, we cannot go without souvenirs. And afterwards the entrance is paid. It's something that I would have missed. But thanks to Chris, I had the opportunity to enjoy a wonderful Alpine walk. Well, we didn't have much time as my host had to be at work later, but that didn't stop us from fully and completely enjoying the wonderful experience. And this is the first underwater test of my new GoPro, which I just had to try if it's as waterproof as the Alps climb. Well, I don't know, but it surely did a great job in the icy alpine water. Years ago there has been a serious jump here from fallen trees, the largest being 4.5 meters. Something that, given the narrow stone bed of the river, was extremely difficult to free and clean up. And Chris had lots of fun being an underwater videographer.